Welcome. So today we're going to talk about the head and how the head is related to the body. So the head, the neck and above, is all about spirituality. It's about the heavens, the universe, because we can very simply, with the pineal gland, we can tap into the universe and get answers, or even body testing is done through this. Now, the physical body from the neck down, it's your physical body here on earth. It also represents earth. So as they say, as above, so below. Well, they're talking about how our bodies as a whole also are represented from the earth being in the body and the universe, the stars being the universe. So sometimes a lot of us get really caught up in our head, in our thoughts, and we get very busy in the head. So a lot of people say they can't meditate. Well, I don't really believe them, because have you ever been in a car and you've been driving and you're driving, you got the music on, you're thinking, and next thing you know, you're at work or you're at your destination, but yet you can't remember how you got there? Well, that essentially is a meditation. That's you being out of your body up there somewhere. And it's through thought, deep thought sometimes, that can get us there. There's other ways, of course. Your breath is a good way to kind of get you into that quietness. But meditation is more like changing your body from sympathetic state, which is that flight or freeze, into the parasympathetic state where you rest, digest, and restore. And you can do this a variety of different ways. You can go outside to ground. That's an excellent way to exchange your energy from your physical body to the earth, as well as breathing the air, seeing nature, using all your senses to really expand yourself. And everything's energy. So that makes sense why you can go outside out of a building and kind of sit down and relax. You can really feel a different energy than you would if you were inside working or in a meeting or something like that. Getting back to meditation, another way is to listen to your breath, because many of us do not breathe properly deep from the abdominal region. A lot of us breathe up here, very shallow breathing, and that makes a big difference when you're trying to adjust your body and get out of that stress mode. So the perfect breath is inhale for 5 seconds, to hold for 5 seconds, to exhale for 5 seconds, and then to hold for 5 seconds. Now, again, if you're counting, but you don't have a watch or something, you might be going a little bit faster than true 5 seconds, but it's the rhythm, the cadence that you need to go on. Just like a person shamanic drumming. It's very soothing to the body because that's a vibration, a frequency, a rhythm that is pretty much equivalent to probably your heartbeat. That causes your body to be in that parasympathetic state, that rest, restore, and digest state. Thoughts are another way that you can get into that deep relaxation. And just know that thoughts become things. Every invention out there, everything made physically, has always started with a thought. So just be very aware of that, because when I realized that my thoughts become things, that's when I changed my thought process when waking up in the morning. And I used to say to myself how I hated my life, I hated my body. This Hashimoto's disease really sucks. I can't stand it. I just don't want to be here anymore. It was just a spiral down. And when I realized that I didn't want to live that way anymore and I wanted to get better, I started to say, I'm healthy, happy, and joyful. I wake up every day with ease and no pain. Now, at the time I was saying these things, were they true? Not exactly, not in that moment in time, but it's who I wanted to become. So if you've been programmed with a lot of self-hate, or just you're not good enough, or you're always messing up and you just go down a road of just nasty talk to yourself, you need to change that. because that talk is what kept me sick for many, many years. So when you start changing it to who you want to become, I am love. I am happy and joyful. Everything comes to me with ease and grace. Money comes out of nowhere into my bank account. When you start saying those types of things, yes, they feel odd at first only because you're making new synapses in your brain. So it's a little uncomfortable. Now, if you have a little bit of, your ego coming out and saying, yeah, right. Yeah, you're going to be rich by saying all that. Yeah, like you're going to get healthy. Sure. The doctor said you'll never cure your body because it's an incurable disease. Well, it's a choice. And like Tony Robbins told us, suffering's a choice. And at first, it really hit a nerve, hit a trigger in me when he said that, because I was like, I have a disease. It's not my choice to have a disease. But in reality, he was right. So what I've learned is to be very impeccable with my words, very intentional with my words. And I'm not perfect. I might mess up and say something, oh, well, that was dumb. Then I'll go, cancel, clear that. And I would come back with a new statement that is much more powerful and more to the person I wanted to become. So just having this little bit of awareness is the first step to a new path. If you're not aware of it, then how are you going to know that it is even there? So this is why reading books is so important, because reading information, you can digest it and understand it in your way. And then when you teach it to other people, then you get a new way to kind of learn whatever you learned, let's say meditation. And then you check into your body and say, well, how do I feel after I do this meditation? Or how do I feel after I come outside? Or more importantly, when you're out with some friends, and you come out of there enlightened and happy and feeling great? Or do you come out of there heavy and just not feeling well and just wondering why you even bothered to even go out? This is your life. You get to choose. And what I realized is some friends are not for me anymore. Friends can be for a lifetime, friends can be for just a season, or they could just be for a reason. And I learned this from my 30-year-old daughter. So I've had many friends come and go, and other friends come back around after their changes in life. So just know that it's really all about you. And when you really understand that, and you can really digest that to know that everything out there you created, everything you see, you've created. So if you don't like what you see or what's out there, then change it. Take some moments in the day to say, you know what? Yeah, I don't like that anymore. That doesn't serve me anymore. Let's change it to this. I did the same thing with sugar. Took sugar out of my diet for a long time and felt great, lost some weight. It was great. Then I was at the store. I thought, oh, I'm going to have this, candy bar. It was 80%, and it was organic, 80% cacao. But I noticed as soon as I started eating that, the craving started. And I was thinking, you know what? It's just not worth it to buy it anymore. Before that, it was chips. I just loved the crunchy, salty of chips. And I even made my own chips at one point. But then I realized, is this really serving me? Because I know for me and my body, having it see the sun like an apple or greens, if it's seen the sun and the next thing it sees is it going into my mouth, then that's a healthy choice. But anything in a bag or a package, or even some of the liquids that they sell that are drinks, I would be very aware of what my ingredients are, because it matters what you put in, on, and around your body. It all matters because we're all energetic beings. So you have to be really aware and understand what that is telling us. So take charge of your own life, because only you can. There's not going to be any other pill out there or potion out there that's really going to make you feel 100% well. It starts from within. from the moment you wake up with a smile. I know it sounds crazy, but automatically your body's putting in some good endorphins in. And taking some good cleansing breaths, that's energizing the body. Drinking some healthy, clean water, reverse osmosis with some minerals added to it. Beautiful thing. You can't really get anything in a can or in a bottle that's going to really suffice the thirst that your body needs. And we're mostly water. So we really need to drink our body weight from pounds to ounces in a day. And that means that if you're 128 pounds, you're eating or drinking at least a gallon of water. And I know that sounds like a lot, but you work your way up to it. Also, way back, the food that we would have, the apples that we would eat or the oranges had a lot more, not only vitamins and minerals, but water as well. Our food system is so contaminated, not only with pesticides, but ingredients that don't even know in our body what to do with it. So it gets stored away in our fat cells. So that's why when you start losing weight, immediately all those toxins that had been saved in that fat cell, because your body doesn't know what to do with it, starts getting released. That's when you start feeling just not well, or having some nausea, or your thoughts are a little crazy and not in a happy state. Just know that that's what's happening in your body. You're detoxing. And if you're not detoxing, whether it's a 3-day apple diet or a water fast, or just kind of cleaning up your diet a little bit, it makes a whole difference when you're trying to detox. And Ayurvedic ways say to detox every season and introduce the different seasonal foods into your diet. So we're not always meant to eat the same thing all the time. Unfortunately, with the food systems we have here in the States, as well as the different areas that we live in here in Florida, we get fruit all the time because it's always summer or spring here. Very little time is spent during winter. So again, you have to be aware of all these changes to help yourself get back into the homeostasis that your body wants to be in. And your body knows how to do it. It's just a lot of times our thoughts get in the way, our diet gets in the way, our lifestyle gets in the way. So you just need to be a little bit more aware about that. So I hope this was helpful, and subscribe, comment below with anything else that you would like to know, and I'll do my best to get it online. Namaste.